I'm actually going to start off with the poem that's in the anthology. It comes from a series that I've been working on for a while called Notes After a Harlequin Apocalypse. And they're poems that are based on Mark Rothko's work. I kind of started to view his stuff as like windows into an almost apocalyptic world. So it starts off with a quote that says, "Certain people always say we should go back to nature. I notice they never say we should go forward to nature." Mark Rothko. This first one is red, black, blue, and purple. Life is a kind of rust. Here is a vertical future, and buildings rise like sandstone karsts or a cross obscured by the darkness around it. There are no windows, and the doors are thin as burlap. Behind them, people are doing terrible things to each other. In one room, a man is dragged across the floor, and his head is also the eye of a giant fish. This time, your golem is a cyclops and is unhappy to be so thin. Blood contains too much metal and reacts violently with oxygen. Such is life. A beautiful woman, eyes cast towards the earth, is mourning your loss. The mushroom cloud is also a clown face, and there is a skeleton dancing to an invisible marionette. I'm going to read a few more from the same series. This one's called White Center, 1950. You cannot stop painting landscapes, and it seems that you are always drowning or stuck between layers of earth. In this future, there is a film of crude oil on top of the ocean, and the beach is cake icing or snow near to melting. We are looking through a window in the sun, which is everywhere and inadequate. The body of your butterfly is a urinal cake with antenna and legs braided to form a rope stretched across the belly. Or is the black line what separates you from the encroaching sky? And why again is there blood on the brow of your golem? The tongue is big enough for both of us. There are 1,000 places I'd rather be, and I have left them all to be here. Next one is called Rust and Blue, 1953. On the horizon, a barn has left its lights on. We are lying on the red clay, and it is cold against my cheeks and eyes, and the barn is so tiny in the distance. Entire families are huddled in the partitions underground, and I fear we are one of them. In front of us, 4 wisps are dancing children. They are transparent and blue against the corroded earth. A storm is rolling in. This is a quiet future, empty, massive. You have left handprints in the sky, which is a baker's pin that will flatten the earth. This machine is all hair and no eyes. As a child, you waited for a beard, and now we are both lost inside of it. The blood on your golem's mask has dried. And I'll read one more from this series. Dark Over Light Earth, 1954. The night is earth piled on earth, and everything buried there is peering in. A face pressed against the glass of your basement window, a body on its hands and knees breathes fog and writes in glossolalia. It seems you view daytime as heavier than night. If not heavier, more solid. The night is ambiguous and swallows both of us. Is nothing more than light bouncing off the opposite side of the earth, which ends. The child sees faces first, learns to recognize emotion through the lips, the eyes. Thank you for this map of time and its tributaries. Your mishratic position says we spend our lives reacquainting ourselves with lost knowledge. In utero, we are taught by angels, who then strike us on the soft beneath the nose that we forget. This next one is called Letter to My Unborn Child, and I think it has some apocalyptic kind of things going. Letter to my unborn child. The wires in your mouth are not your mouth. Of the 10,000 things you have forgotten, most of them can be found on the bamboo tablets of the Tao Te Ching. The innumerable rest cannot. Try the doorway of the mysterious female from which sprang heaven and earth. Seek refuge above all things. In the book, he who stays where he is endures. This is not about staying put. Before your conception, I conceived of you as a cigarette that burns slowly and then is gone. This was my way of understanding time. Your nation is not my nation. My nation isn't either. Plagues are a thing to be tolerated, as are cups of formaldehyde, plastic bags filled with fruit. The internet, which is your brain, we carried like sage in our pockets. We carried sage in our pockets, burned it when the stench of commerce became unbearable. September, until you earn a name for yourself. You are wary of strangers, born on a rung in the ladder of fear. There was once a machine revered for its qualities of a convincing. People believed it to be innocuous. If I never praised your intelligence, I never praised intelligence. You can find me on a mountain or in the static approaching earth from our cluttered past. And I'll read one more. This one is, if I am unworthy of your grace, give me waffles. If not waffles, I will do your homework for a month. If we are caught and I am forced to attend detention, I will stay 1,000 hours in the teacher's shadow for you. You are like a tremendous balloon I fill with hot air to bring me closer to you. You are the most absorbent sponge in the history of sponges. Your color spectrum is not visible to the human eye. If you were to speak, there would be an exodus of heavenly bodies toward your voice. Your voice would be everywhere, and all at once, so the exodus would turn into a party where everyone stays exactly where they are, and all the heavenly bodies would bring beer. If you were an acorn, and someone were kind enough to place you between two moist paper towels, and then put you in a little pot on the windowsill, and water you every 2 or 3 days, you would eventually grow into the largest oak tree this planet has ever seen. Children passing under you would know of your grace. They would unfocus their eyes at the sun poking through your leaves. Entire villages would fall under your shadow, continents. Your roots would gnarl their way into children's imagination, where they would construct entire forests of you. During the day, the birds would be more extravagant than famous house guests. At night, the ground would open up and out would march a cornucopia of terrors. Everyone would love and fear you, a tree. Perhaps better to hold on to the acorn. It is enough to know that you are inside of it, tiny and full of promise. I have shown myself to be unworthy, and I thank you earnestly for this glorious waffle. Perhaps you have even reached behind yourself, outside the cave, to grasp the plate from which I will eat, and for a single bite, I would lift my face away from all these words and look directly into the eclipse of your birth. Thank you.